Hello and welcome to another conversation with Crystal Marie. I'm Crystal Marie Seeley, and I tend to share things that I hope will invite you into honoring a greater sense of yourself. Because for me, self love, self care, self acceptance leads to more of it in the world. What you have on the inside inevitably overflows into the world around us. So here's to you being more of you. If you like what you find on this channel, I hope you will subscribe. I don't do videos very often. I do tend to batch them and send them out, so you will notice that. The dates on my videos are like that, but then you might hear quiet nothing for a couple months, so you'll never be bombarded. So welcome. My name again is Crystal Marie Seeley, and today I just want to talk about one of the more recent blog posts that I've had, authenticity, compatibility, and opposition. This is where we acknowledge that self and we are one are both true. So for most of my life, I've operated in this, healthy debate is necessary. And so that is where I speak about opposition in this blog post. It's not always about being an activist and standing up and fighting for something. It's not always about asserting a point or helping somebody else advocate. Sometimes it is just gently holding space for multiple different ideas that seem to be opposing, just until you could find the paradox there rather than the contradiction. But compatibility is also at the other end of the spectrum in my blog post. It speaks to live and let live, but allowing yourself to be comfortable with the fact that some connections are healthy for you and some are not, allowing the connections to develop where they are organically more fruitful and allowing them to dissipate or distance when they're not. And there's room for both. Compatibility allows you to not lose all your energy in trying to find the paradox in the existence of all of these ideas so that you're allowed to go more deeply into one idea or a few ideas that you already hold dear. And of course, as I always say, not everything in quotes is fact, and we cannot oversimplify things. And this is one of those things. I may operate well in compatibility, and I may do so at this phase of my life. It has never been healthy for me to operate in opposition or healthy debate, if you will, because it burns me out. I find it draining. My mind is already, when I'm operating in what you call masculine energy, overstimulated and it doesn't shut off. When I step into my feminine energy of allowing and flow and ease, that allows me to really live my beliefs and my values and honor my rhythms and my cycles. Not everyone is like that. There are people who cannot deal with this in-depth response to everything. And I won't say analysis because I don't operate very much from head alone anymore. I operate very much from heart. And so that as well is not where everybody functions. And part of being authentic is being true to who you are, because what you bring to the table and what I bring to the table are different, but both are necessary. And both, believe it or not, could save lives in this world. And I hope we remember that if we don't take the time to honor and develop ourselves, to honor our individual sovereignty, we're not shining a light on somebody else who may need a little bit of inspiration to realize that they have that same magic inside of them as well. Who you are is very important. And so compatibility and opposition and self, and we are all one. For people who are on a more spiritual journey in all of this, and I have to say, coming from a very spiritual background, I hope that while you're here as a human, you enjoy being human. And boundaries are a very necessary part of being human because you cannot maintain this body and all it's designed to thrive in if you're always trying to get out of it and live in spirituality. So there is a beautiful blend of both if you get to know yourself. Self-discovery helps you to figure out how that really does work well together and uniquely for you. So self, you see a lot out there and service, and then you see volunteers burning out. But that second part, you don't hear a lot about. Volunteers burning out. They don't need to. They do because we don't start with self. If you are giving on E, it is not helping. It is okay to step back and take what you need. But we are also all one. And that spiritual tie-in is not just spiritual. It is very much in the physical. Like you can, there are brothers and sisters. Like I was going to do something really ridiculous in university. I can't even remember what it was. And my brother, who is not my twin, called me and said, I get the feeling you're going to do something ridiculous. There are connections, human connections that we cannot always explain. And so we are very much connected. But if you don't know who the full self is, you don't really know how that connection fits, how you fit into that connection. And if this is making any sense to you, if this is sitting well with you, I hope you take the time to go read the blog. It's not a short one, but if you're in a space where you're wrestling with this, I hope it helps you get a little bit further in your own discourse on where you can go with this. So if you find that compatibility is where you breathe and relax and feel most yourself, there is nothing wrong with that. And those who will keep telling you that you have to have healthy debates, they're doing that because it works for them. And they may genuinely believe that it works for everyone, but nothing works for everyone. And that is okay too. And in the same way, may we also know that we don't have to make everyone have focus on compatibility in relationships. If that is where you thrive, honor that and allow other people to honor where they are as well. Thank you for joining me for this, and I hope you look forward to the next one. See you soon.